Hello, I'm Liz, one of Derry's reference librarians, and welcome to another episode of Misinformation Busters. Once a week, we tackle a rumor or false misunderstood information and try to separate fact from fiction. This week, we're talking about one of the biggest fashion trends in years, masks. So, what's the story? Well, in the early days of COVID, there was an understandable demand for masks, specifically the N95 mask. And like toilet paper, you couldn't find them anywhere. Problem was, it became very clear that surgical level masks were needed for medical professionals, and this prompted the CDC to advise Americans to use face coverings but not purchase N95 masks. So those could be reserved for those in the medical field. And this led to a downright inspiring amount of Americans making masks and other face coverings for themselves and others. In some ways, mask making has brought us together. But it's led to misunderstandings and other theories, the biggest being masks don't really work or protect you from COVID, and masks make you sicker because you're breathing in carbon dioxide or germs. And if you browse internet comments, you'll see other opinions like masks are a sign of fear, or masks are a way for the government to control you, especially after the states made masks mandatory. And then you'll see some extreme comments like masks are the first step to an Islamic takeover. For a small amount of people, masks are becoming a culture war. So, what are the facts? Well, let's start with the basic stuff first. So, it is true that cloth masks will not protect you as well as an N95 mask or heavy-duty PPE. But, as the CDC states, we're not really wearing masks for ourselves. We're wearing them for others. It may not keep things out, but it can keep what comes out of your mouth in. Remember, there are potentially a lot of asymptomatic carriers, and the most common transmission seems to be droplets from your mouth. So this could save lives. And the CDC also said that masks and other measures, such as social distancing, can greatly help reduce the transmission of this disease. It is not 100%, but it helps. Dr. Stephen Novella of The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe also made an important note about all masks, cloth or N95. The masks need to be worn correctly. So if you're constantly touching your face, or you only have the mask over your mouth and not your nose, you're right, it's not going to work. The key is not only wearing a mask, but wearing it correctly. As far as the carbon dioxide fear, well, that can be a danger if you're wearing a tight-fitting mask for a long period of time. But cloth masks or even surgical masks, you're fine, especially since you're likely not wearing them for a long time. Germs? Well, the CDC and the Mayo Clinic both recommend washing cloth masks after use, so that is true. But again, it comes down to good practices. Wash those masks, people. Now, on to the more extreme takes. I'm sure we've all seen memes or signs saying, I won't give in to fear and wear a mask. Well, we're not wearing masks out of fear. We're wearing masks out of a sense of civic duty and public health. We're protecting others, not ourselves. Second, masks aren't a sign of tyranny even if there's a mandate to wear one in public places. Think of it as akin to seatbelts. You do have to wear them, and if you don't, you'll get a fine. However, this does not excuse cases we've seen of police using excessive force if someone isn't wearing a mask, such as the recent case in New York City. But that has more to do with the NYPD and their continued issue with excessive force rather than masks. Finally, the meme that mask wearing is somehow a stepping stone to an Islamic society. Well, I hope that by me saying that out loud, we all see how little sense that makes. I mean, China, Japan, South Korea, all countries that have been wearing surgical masks during flu seasons for years, or in the case of China, they were due to pollution. And last I checked, not Muslim majority countries. A cloth mask is not one step away from everyone having to wear a burqa. And memes like this are just someone using a global pandemic as an excuse to be Islamophobic. Those countries that I listed, they had to adapt to SARS, and masks became a way of life for them, and it may become a way of life for us. Again, the masks aren't foolproof, but with good practices, they can help slow the spread. And personally, if they're going to become a part of our lives, we may as well have fun with it. I know I've already ordered some horror and sci-fi themed masks. Well, thank you for watching, and as always, look for the sources in the comments. If you want to do some research, you can always use our EBSCO databases available through the library's website. See you next week!